Hello, I'm Joshua Schaub, and today we're talking about what are some red flags and green flags in a house. So when you're going through a showing, what should you be on the lookout for? So come on inside, let's take a look. So one of the main things I like to talk about is looking at windows. So in a lot of homes in Grand Rapids, you're going to run into older wooden windows or newer replacement windows. So right here, we're looking at vinyl replacement windows. These are going to be more energy efficient for you. These are going to be where when winter comes, you're going to be having a lower heat bill every single month. But you could also run into some issues where you're going to be seeing homes with older windows because they have character. Now these windows, typically the pane of glass is a little thinner. Sometimes on the outside you'll see that there's storm windows, which makes it slightly more efficient. But if possible, you're going to want to be looking to get vinyl windows because they're just better overall for efficiency. Another thing that I like to talk about is looking for outlets. So a lot of rooms don't have grounded outlets or a lot of outlets in your home. So when you're walking around, you want to make sure that these outlets have the grounded plug just instead of two plugs. And you also want to make sure there's two or more per room so you're not running everything over just in an extension cord. Another thing that I talk about is just having like an open feel and an open space in the home. So is it updated? Does it have nice bright light? Does it have that open space that you're looking for? And one thing that we talk about that a lot of people forget to do is checking water pressure in a home, because if you have older pipes, it could be dripping out instead of running through, and that could be a big problem down the road when you go to take a shower or when you're just wanting to clean dishes. So those are some of my tips on the inside of the home, but there's more that lies below. So let's go take a look at the basement. Now this is where you really want to look in a home, because this is what I call the bones of a home. You're looking at your HVAC system, you're looking at your water heater, you're looking at the electrical, you're looking at the plumbing. So some things that stick out is you don't want water in your basement. You can see right here a little bit of water is coming through, and this is something that could possibly lead to mold down the road, possibly issues. So what you want to do is either make sure that can be taken care of, possible waterproof paint, or just maybe talking to a mason to see if they can seal up those cracks and where that water is coming through. Another thing we're going to want to look at is the electrical box. Is it updated paneling? Is this new with breakers? Sometimes I see old knob and tube wire. What you want to see is you want to see newer Romex wire, you want to see breakers, and you want to see a lot of breakers, because that means there's a lot of outlets in the home. So that's one thing to definitely look at when the time comes. Another thing to look at is the water heater and what kind of plumbing it has. Now you can see this is painted, but this is actually PEX plumbing, which is some of the newer plumbing out there on the market, along with copper plumbing right here. That is really, really good. Some homes are going to have galvanized plumbing, which is fine, but that tends to leak at the joints, where PEX plumbing tends to not have any joints. And then we're going to want to look at the water heater specifically. How old is the water heater, and is it big enough? Now this is a 40-gallon one, which is typically sufficient in a larger home. Sometimes if you see a 30-gallon one, you could run out of water quickly while you're taking a shower. So is it newer? It's looking new. Is there any rust on the top or on the bottom? I'm not seeing it. Is there any leaks in these joints right here where it's showing me that maybe there's issues with not only the plumbing here, but in other points of the home? I'm not seeing that. So this is telling me this is a good looking water heater. Then the final point of what we're going to want to look for is the furnace. So if we come back here, we're seeing the furnace. We're seeing possibly this was serviced in 2018, which is just 18 months ago or so. Everything's looking good. When you go through an inspection, your inspector is actually going to test this furnace. And then another thing we're going to look for is, does this home have central air? So we look right up here, and above here there should be a condenser unit with a line going into it if it has central air. So this one does not, but it does have the ability to add it, because you have this space right here where you can add that condenser unit in. So when you're in the basement, these are the main things you're going to want to look for, because replacing a furnace can cost you a lot of money, replacing a water heater can cost you a lot of money. Now, let's take a look outside of the home to see other things that could be issues. So now as we head outside, some things we're going to want to look at is what kind of siding are we having on this home. Now we knew inside most of the home was vinyl windows, which is great. Now I'm seeing vinyl siding instead of wood, which means it's going to be low maintenance for you, which means it's going to be where you're not having to paint it every 5 to 7 years. That's a really good sign. The other thing I would look at is there vinyl around the windows? Because some windows aren't wrapped. So right here, if we took a look, you can see this is not wood. This is actually aluminum wrapping, which is great because it makes it zero maintenance, less issues, less problems for your home. So that's one great thing I'm seeing right away. Also, I'm looking at the roof. Is there gutters on this home? I am not seeing any gutters on this home. That's possibly why there was some water issues in the basement. Doing some gutters probably would make it better, just to knock down that wetness down there. Then I'm just taking a look back here, looking at the backyard, seeing what we have to do for maintenance there, looking at the foundation of the home. Is there big cracks in the block? I'm not seeing many issues here. Looks like it's well sealed up, well maintained. If you're seeing problems where there's cracking, you'll start to see big gaps in between here, and this will start coming apart at the joints. So this is looking really, really solid. And then the other final point I would say is you're going to want to look at the top of the roof. So usually you have to walk far away from the house or somewhere down the street. How old are the shingles? How old is that roof overall? Do you see shingles missing? Is there stuff blown off? I don't know. But you definitely want to take a look at that. So those would be my main points when we're looking around the outside of a home, just looking at how well things are maintained, and definitely having things that are maintenance free or lower maintenance is definitely going to save you lots of money in the long run. So hopefully you find that helpful. Just wanted to point out some of those tips that I look for when I'm looking through homes, and if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out and contact me. Take care. Hey, I'm Joshua with the Joshua Schaub Realty team. Thank you for listening to my video. If you have any additional questions or if you want to reach out to me to cover some more information, you can reach me on Facebook, shoot me a message there, on Instagram. You can reach me at email at joshua@icongr.com, or give me a call on my cell phone, 616-690-7973. Look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day.